All right, welcome to the Record Machine Hip Hop Hour podcast. Today we're going to hear tracks from JusWit, Marty Notes, Loogey, and a few other local artists, as well as tracks off my guest's new album, Gone with the Trends, the iLLPHONiCS. How you guys doing?
Hey.
We're doing good.
Doing good, yeah, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. You guys want to introduce yourselves so people can relate the name to the voice?
Hello, I am Larry.
Man, you are like the loudest person, and then right when the recording button goes on, you get all quiet and stuff.
Well, sometimes you have to adapt to the situation. You have to be adaptable. I'm sorry, audience, that was so rude. My name is Larry Fallout Morris. I am the MC frontman for the band iLLPHONiCS.
I'm Kevin Kaler, the guitarist of iLLPHONiCS.
And I am Lena Charlie, the lead vocalist of iLLPHONiCS.
Perfect. So what is good? How you guys doing?
Doing
We're
good.
doing all right.
Yeah.
Enjoying some nice weather in Kansas City.
Yes.
Nice as of right now.
It's pretty nice right now.
Yeah.
We'll see what it's like later. but-
Storm should blow through later, they say.
That's what we hear. What we hear. I'm actually fortunate enough to have you guys in here with me today because you guys have been pretty busy playing shows on the road after the album release, and you guys got that big show today at TEDx. You guys all ready for it? You ready
TEDx. TEDx is cool.
Yes.
Or, well,
Yeah.
anything
Ted is
exciting,
yes.
at least.
It'll be a good time.
Yeah. for
So,
sure.
so tell me a little bit about, since you guys do play here in Kansas City quite frequently, you're here from the middle of the Math Fest, you do a lot of Record Machine shows. Tell me about some differences that you've noticed between the St. Louis and the Kansas City scene.
Oh, my.
Oh, boy. Be kind.
Oh, no, that's all good. I mean, with Kansas City, it's a good music town. We enjoy playing here. I think one thing I like about Kansas City, and it's no knock at St. Louis because, of course, I rep St. Louis.
Right.
But it's just, you see the outward love of music, you know. I think in St. Louis, it's a little bit, they can be a little bit more apprehensive. They'll come, they'll support you, but until they get to a point of comfort with you, you won't see that, you know, that excitement. And with Kansas City, and to be fair, us being a new group in town, that may play into it, because, you know, when you're used to people, it's one thing, but when you come here, you see that they're excited to see you and hear music. While back home, we've amassed a decent following, but it's not, you don't always see that excitement, you know. So I think that's one thing that makes it a little bit different.
You have to consider like the perception of the audience of a in-town band versus an out-of-town band for one. So it's kind of hard for us to answer that because like, yeah, it might just literally be Kansas City people being like, oh, it's a band from St. Louis. This is different. So I'm interested. Like they must be good, you know. Whereas if it's just a band in your own town, you're like, oh, well, what are they doing? They're in St. Louis. Why are they playing in St. Louis? Or, you know, why should I pay attention if they're not doing things, if I haven't heard of them or something. But no, I think the biggest kind of funny differences that I'm noticing is that in Kansas City you actually have people who may not be in bands in town that go support the music, whereas in St. Louis you have a music scene that is mainly consisting of the bands themselves, and the people who go support bands are the people who are in other bands. And like I'd say a large percentage of the attendees of shows, local shows in St. Louis, are people who are representing other bands in the city. So I think a lot of great musicians, not enough fans yet in St. Louis.
And I think something with our fans, and that's an excellent point. The people in St. Louis would jump on something when somebody else outside of our city, oh my God, this is amazing. So if you were a performing artist, Alex, and you were blowing up all over Chicago and New York and whatnot, and it got back to St. Louis, then all of a sudden the people who are just fans of music, they come out, you know.
That's interesting, yeah, because I was talking to Marcus Yates on the last episode, and he's from locally, and that's what he was saying. He was saying, you know, I asked him why he thought it was hard to draw local people outside of going out of town and getting that following and coming back. He's like, man, because Missouri is the show me state. You show me what you've done.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty interesting. But yeah, bands here in Kansas City, artists, they have the same thing too, where it's like the city doesn't take notice until you start building that following outside of the city, and then you come back.
You got to leave your hometown.
We've experienced that, I think, because now, you know, we've been together like 10 years now. So, but at first, people were not initially into it. Now we play like kind of more infrequently in St. Louis. So then when we do play, people do come out. Now now that well, I'm really sounding like a hater right now.
No, it's
No, you're just talking.
It's not hate
again,
stuff.
that going back to that question of difference between KC and St. Louis, like within our second or third time in Kansas City, people were excited about us, whereas in St. Louis, it took
Years.
6 years, 7 years. So
No, and I mean to add a disclaimer, we love our city. I mean, we've done it to show that St. Louis has that level of talent and whatnot. But I think it boils down, regardless if it's Kansas City, St. Louis, Cape Girardeau, Columbia, you have to support your local artists.
Right.
If you don't support your local artists, it makes it very, very difficult for us to go out there and spread that message, you know what I mean? And I feel like acts like us, we're at a level where we're relatively cheap to see. It works with your schedule and whatnot, just support your music, So.
Hip hop, man, just where do I start? At 11 years of age, you infiltrated my heart. Nas, if I ruled the world, came on BET. I knew my career path, I had to be an MC. That was in 96 and I was barely a teen. When Tupac was shot in Vegas, forever changing the scene. Remembering where I was, I found it hard to believe. Machiavelli was really gone, I found it hard to conceive. In the middle of the map, we listened to all kinds. Bone Thugs, Dog Pound, Common, Busta Rhymes. Families from the South, our subwoofers would heave. With Outkast, UGK, Ball, and MJG. No limit cash money, we love the 666 thugs. Memphis 10, Burt Crunk, and it was starting to buzz. 96 to 99, I still remember the days I fell in love with hip hop in the last golden age. Hey.
Playing outside till we can't no more. Had to be home before the lights come on. Early cartoons on a Saturday morning. How I wish that I could go back one more time.
Get on the cover of the Bible, 5 mics in the source. Rap City became the source, MTV Raps ran its course. Daily staples with it missed before your DVR. Stuff paper in old tapes, that's the way to record. On my raggedy VCR, I'd hoard money for lunch. To go and buy the CDs, I really wanted that much. Friend gave me Warren G, that's my first CD. My mama would screenplay, regulate on repeat. My cousin had every album separated by coast. Made me study MCs, which stimulated my growth. Rough Riders, Wu-Tang, Razzcast, Do or Die. Lost Biggie and Darren Cry, yet Jay-Z had arrived. Truly a special era, music helped me survive. Through the pressure of middle school, hip-hop kept me in line. In a home with no siblings, hip-hop music was mine. Just follow me back in time, 96 through 99, hey.
Playing outside till we can't no more. Had to be home before the lights come on. Early cartoons on a Saturday morning. How I wish that I could go back one more time.
Take me back once more, take me back again. Take me back to when, take me back to then. Not a worry at all, the music couldn't resolve. Not a problem that I had, the music couldn't solve. Your favorite songs bump loud from the dope boy cars. They driving up to the park to show 'em off through the court. Penny candy, team sports, passing letters along. In the class under the desk, savage days gone.
Playing outside till we can't no more. Had to be home before the lights come on. Early cartoons on a Saturday morning. How I wish that I
That right there, that is the new iLLPHONiCS single 96 to 99, taken off their latest album, Gone with the Trends. So tell me a little bit about how you guys came up in the music scene. You know, when was it? Because I know that you guys have a pretty good story about how y'all met. I mean, 10 years, that's a long time. So you got to at least be homies to stay together that long. So tell me a little bit about that. And then tell me, like, personally, when was it that the music just kind of clicked and you're like, man, this is what I want to do. This is the hobby that I want to pursue and turn into a career long term.
I mean, I think I always kind of felt like that, like even before Larry and I met. Like it was just a goal of mine to like make music. But like, let's see, the beginnings of iLLPHONiCS, like especially after our initial studio project, the Fallout and Friends project. Yeah, once we started playing out live, I mean, it was definitely a slow going process because I mean, we played at unconventional venues, like where I brought the PA system to Natural Fact Deli.
Yes, man. Rest in peace.
So like those were our first those were our first ever shows other than the Webster University open mics.
First Fridays.
Yeah, first Fridays, and those were cool shows, but we only got to play for 10 or 15 minutes maybe. But yeah, playing shows at not the most prestigious venues in St. Louis.
We won't say any names because some of them are still around. Some of them are still around, but you know who you are.
Yeah. The one that isn't around anymore. We can talk about this all we want.
The Red Sea.
Can I cuss, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can talk shit on the Red Sea all day.
Oh, fuck them.
Oh, I remember the Red Sea.
That was the worst. Because like even starting out, I was just starting out booking some stuff, and at that time I was doing a lot of the booking. But the guy from the Red Sea wasn't giving us any information about the shows, and you know, even in my amateur booking agent state, I knew something was wrong. I was like, this guy isn't really doing his job.
Yeah, he's a legendary dickhead. For real. Sorry, it is what it is, man. Well, yeah, what Kevin said is dead on because, of course, he's been here through the whole process. So I just think for us, when we came out, it was a few things. One, St. Louis was at a point where it was after a place called the High Point, and that was kind of like an area or a venue in St. Louis where a lot of MCs were able to gather, and the culture was really strong and whatnot. And I feel like, I don't want to say it was a complete void, but it was a little area where people were very skeptical about hip-hop music. And not only did we come into existence, we came into existence with a whole different sound. Like, we didn't sound like nobody. And we were getting treated as a hip-hop group, but at the same time, people that were listening to us was like, is this really hip-hop music? So I think it was a few things that helped get us over the hump. One was our ability to open for a couple of acts at Webster University. A lot of people that have followed us for years can remember seeing us first at those shows. It's Lupe Fiasco and The Roots.
Okay.
We did a really good job opening for both of them. Then I think the next thing that happened, and shout out to Davide because they're actually having the World's Fair, which I was a part of in St. Louis. We were asked to be a part of the citywide Battle of the Bands. And we played for 2 years. And this is kind of where we brought in Lena early on to assist with background vocals and help with the harmonies and whatnot. The first year we played, we came in second place, but we came in second place to a St. Louis staple called Mattahoochee. And Mattahoochee was so impressed with us that they started to teach us about booking. Beto, he was really cool. They really took a liking to us. So the next year we came back, it was more competitive. It was a lot of different bands. And some of these bands are still around. And we won the competition. And we got a chance to play on big stages at an early age in St. Louis. And once we had those opportunities, then the wheel started to slowly turn. You know, it was one of those things where the shows got better and better, you know, as we went along. So it's been a process for sure. Like when people see us now, like, you guys have played in California and did this. Oh, trust me, we paid a lot of dues. We took a lot of terrible shows. We dealt with a lot of crazy venues. So I think that's what led to what you see now. Just playing. And I mean, I think Kevin can vouch for this. We just wanted to play. We were practicing a lot. We just took whatever we could get, you know, to get to the point where we have a level of comfort on stage with each other from playing for so long.
Yes, and I agree. When I was brought on, when they did the Tasty Band competition, when I first heard their sound, I immediately gravitated to it because the iLLPHONiCS gives you hip-hop fusion. They give you some jazz. They give you definitely hip-hop. They give you some rock. So I'm in love with all genres of music, and so that's why I was, excited to be brought aboard. It was really exciting to see how the crowds gravitated to them when we did different shows and how people supported. But I would say because I just began going on the road with them and I can see the growth of the band and how many more fans that they gain each show. And so I think that's something that's really important and really good.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so, when you just mentioned, Larry, coming up, your sound was different. Was that because you guys were a completely live hip-hop band, not a guy with a DJ?
I think that's a part, and I'll say something about the guys. All of them have musical minds in their own right. So I think it's a science to put in 5, 6 individuals in the room who love what they love, but they want to make one thing work. And so for me, when we first started off, I was with Kevin, and Kevin, like, hey, man, you should listen to this. You should check this out. And then I'm with Keith, somebody I've always been around. He's always listened to a particular type of music, So I think it helps to have a live band, but at the same time, there's a lot of hip-hop bands. People don't realize if you look, you can find hip-hop bands. But what makes the hip-hop band stand out? And I think with us being able to listen to a genre and have individuals who get it and make it work, that's one thing. I think as an MC, being a battle MC at a young age and having a cousin who was voracious about me studying music and keeping me up on what was hot, being able to do that at a young age helps me now and being an audio engineer, because Kevin and I both went to school for audio engineering. That's how we met. Having an ear for music now, I'm able to adapt to that. So we don't have to be pigeonholed into just a straight 1, 2, 3, 4 beat sound, or whatever. Right. We can mix it up and have fun with it. And I think that played a very, very strong role, because we like, let's do a blues song. Hip hop guys can do that, but we could, Let's do a song in 3, because it's funny, because I hear a lot of rappers now. Oh yeah, we're doing it in different time signatures. We did a song in 3/4 in 2006. Like, we've been doing this a while, so I think it does play a very strong role in what you hear from us.
Kick down the door. Every whack rapper get down on the floor. We up in this hoe. You know who this is? LOOGEY, it's a kid. And all of your hoes about to roll out with us. All of our homies get chosen as fuck. Loogey and Nico, we deep in the cut with these amateur models. They giving it up. Baby, what's up? Girl, what you need? I'm sipping liquor that's older than me. VIP carpet stay under my feet. Walk through the door, I don't need an ID because they know my team. They know the people we bring. They know I say what I mean. They know my rhythm and flow. Get respect everywhere they go. It's really a thing, bro.
Get out the door, yeah. Get on the flow. We got to go. We about to blow, yeah. We rock, we rock, we about to smoke. Hold my enemy choke. The drought on its way out the door. I know what that boat, yeah. I know what that boat. Don't know how none you about to cope. I conquer that slope. Some owe some Henny. Me and Big Lou don't need your pennies. Roll a few Dutchess and your bitch to Denny's. Suckers on ice cause the grind so frozen. We caught the artist upset cause we chose it. Why cause he pen, bother mama bowling. Trying to douse my firestone. Front wheel drive still rolling.
I hear people saying how they want the truth now. Swear to God, this ain't a flex, this how we do it now. All these women so impressed cause I've been proving how I found motivation in the hatred and the doubt. What's up? Motivation in the hatred and the doubt. Motivation in the hatred and the doubt. Motivation in the hatred and the doubt. I found motivation in the hatred and the doubt. What's up?
You know we came for that grip. I lift the city so high. Heard y'all don't even like heights. I smoke that Spaceships at half sky, looking through the clouds for you. Put that on the stove. You may not have a clue, but my clientele know. Wait, y'all made me break my cadence. Y'all make me talk about crimes. Nah, bitch, I don't know Loogey. Don't even waste your time. I heard she give that dome move. She didn't waste her mind. Peasants do not speak the kings. Everything I do sublime.
I got that juicy juice. That shit your uncle bangs. Shit might break your neck if you get too into it, man. Shake that ass, girl. Wanna see you wiggle. Your daddy likes to hustle, call you Malcolm in the middle. People on my line begging me for a feature. I remember moving to your city, nice to meet you. Oh, you ain't fucking with me? That's funny when I see you, you say you're impressed. Too late, homie, I don't need you motherfuckers. I hear people saying how they want the truth now. Swear to God, this ain't a flex, this how we do it now. All these women so impressed cause I've been proving how I found motivation in the hatred and the doubt. What's up? Motivation in the hatred and the doubt. Motivation in the hatred and the doubt. Motivation in the hatred and the doubt. I found motivation in the hatred and the doubt. What's up?
That was The Hatred and the Doubt by Loogey featuring Domeniko. It's got a super dope music video for this track. I believe it was a single. The song was released back on June 3rd of 2016, and the music video has really good shots of Kansas City. It was shot, edited, and directed by Steve Vest at wearefsp.com. If you dug that track, you're going to dig more Loogey stuff. You can find out more about him on his Facebook page at facebook.com/Loogey, Loogey. Kevin, being a guitar player, was hip hop kind of your first love? And did you ever see yourself playing in like a hip hop band as a guitar player? Because you grew up on, I'm assuming, rock music and
Yeah, but the first album I ever heard was actually, well, the first album I heard all the way through and truly loved and played the shit out of was Beastie Boys' License to Ill.
Gotcha.
So something that's right in between.
Yeah.
Because that has all those great, like the Led Zeppelin guitar samples and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's what blew my mind I was 4 years old and I was listening to that. So, hip hop and rock kind of, just being kind of in that early 90s MTV kind of, I was watching MTV in that era.
Oh, yeah.
And, you had Guns N' Roses at the end of this show, and then at the beginning of this next show, you had Dr. Dre, So
Right.
I was like eating all that. All that, I'm saying shit a lot, but
he's like, can we
I
cuss?
ate all
I'm
that
going off
shit.
the walls.
Yeah.
Mother beat.
Yeah, no, it's always kind of been two equal passions, and because, and some years, or I'll go through phases where I'm like more heavy into rock, and then I'll like the next couple of years I'll be like heavy into some like conscious rap or something, and just be voracious about it. But yeah, it just goes in cycles. But yeah, it's been really fun to be jamming with people with totally different backgrounds and just bringing different influences to the table and making you aware of some stuff you were never aware of before, and then throwing it all in a pot, kind of seeing what happens. Usually it's a pretty tasty stew.
When you all get it, it's tasty. Because when we start, it's not always a delicious situation.
Usually, that's why I say usually. Sometimes the stew starts off kind of murky, kind of, who knows.
So talk to me a little bit about the new album, Gone with the Trends. So you got 13 tracks, and really is 11 musical tracks. You guys got an intro, and then you have that one intro to the Brown Frequency. Tell me about the writing process, because I know you guys got this together pretty quick. You guys got into the studio, you guys sit down, really put the pedal to the metal, and talk to me about how that album evolved, because it doesn't sound like the self-titled. It doesn't sound like any of your previous EPs.
We definitely went into this one a little with a different mindset. We knew that I think we spent a little bit more time in the studio with our self-titled album than we wanted to, and so this time we just focused on getting the song arrangements just down pat before we set foot in the studio. So, and also the thing that really makes this album different, I think ultimately led to a much better sound, is we actually did keys, bass, guitar, and drums simultaneously for nearly every song on this album. I think there was one or two where I didn't play guitar live with Chaz and Simon and Keith, but in previous albums it was just keys, bass, and drums. And I think just adding all the instruments, having all the instruments going at the same time just really captures that dynamics between us playing, because it always before that it was just kind of weird to be sitting like in the control room like watching the rhythm section play, and I'm just like
not being a part of it.
Yeah, I'm like I can't like do that cue that I usually do to or whatever. So
that's definitely a big part. From the music standpoint, from also a writing standpoint, I think a few things made this album great. One was we, as a group, have figured out how to write together. Like, people see me a friend, like, you write lyrics. I'm like, I do, but sometimes it's not my hook idea. It's Kevin's or it's Chaz, and I think we embrace that. I feel the communication was much better on this one. I think there's now a sense of trust. They trusted my judgment, and like with Lena being here, I wanted her a part of this album, and I made that clear. I said we should have that lady sound involved in this and whatnot. And so I took the time to work with her to, get her introduced to the music. And when you hear songs like High and Purple, that's actually her hook. Like I had worked out the idea, the concept, everything was really great, but I just couldn't come up with a hook. So we brought that into the mix and whatnot. And then I think another thing that makes it great with the lyrics is now in the live shows, Keith, Chaz have always been the type at practice that like to joke around singing. And I would sit there and I would say, we need to quit playing and have you all singing for real. And Kevin has now become a singer-songwriter outside of the group. So he's singing. And I'm like, as a front man, I'm like, look here. I know that I'm going to be up front rapping. That's absolutely fine. But we have so many things that would make this band greater if we would just do it. Mm-hmm. And so you hear that in the album. You hear the singing of Chaz. You hear the singing of Keith. You know what I mean? You hear Lena on the songs. And then another thing I think that makes it great to kind of bounce back to the songwriting process, I think Spank and Kevin, they bring a lot of worldly sounds to the group. It's not always hip-hop. Like with Liquid Spaceships, who would have thought? You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think the mixture of it, that comfort level, and don't get me wrong, we still have our days in the studio where it's like, fuck you, no, I don't like your song. Like, true story. I wrote a hook for She. It is pretty much similar, but Kevin could not stand that hook. We could not see eye to eye on it. And so eventually Keith was like, okay, let me make the compromise. This is my thoughts. And it worked out. But then there was in other cases, because writing songs for this group is unique because you bring it and you say, all right, this is what I got. And they'll listen and they'll either be like, yeah, we can work with that. Or it's like, nah. But, a lot of times you bring a song and you're like, hey, so this is what I got. And this album, it was pretty much like, that ain't bad. We can work with that. So I just think the chemistry, you hear it on the album, this album, as opposed to our other ones where it's a little bit more scattered. And the last element is I feel like we had a concept. We knew as a group that we were going to go with what works for us. We weren't trying to make certain songs and music that fit the industry. We wanted to stay true to how we write and how we create as a group. And that confidence exudes from the music when you listen to it. So
yeah, and that was a strong message. Gone with the trends. I mean, that was completely 180 degrees about what a lot of people now are doing.
Yeah, man, fuck them, man. Yeah, we not for that, man. Like, we want long-term music careers. We want to do this for the rest of our lives, hopefully. With your help out there, we can do this. But I just think we get so caught up in what's hot right now, and we don't breed artists that have that longevity because it's all about what's hot right now. Or what happens is they put out songs that's great right now, but when they grow, you don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear you talk about anything conscious. All you giving me was club music. And so with us, we're like, you're gonna get some conscious songs. You're going to get some songs about love. We're going to talk some shit on some songs. We're going to do all of this because this is who we are as people.
Right.
So.
And then at the meat of all of it, you guys are super solid songwriting. And it's like, I was watching an interview with Just Blaze, and he was like, if you can write a good song, all you got to do is change what the samples sound like, and you can modernize it. Mm-hmm. But if you have that solid base, that's what you need for the authenticity, for the longevity. Mm-hmm. So that's real cool. Talk to me a little bit about the hip-hop scene in St. Louis. Help me and the listeners understand that.
Let's get a Lena Charlie perspective, because I mean, let's get your perspective
Okay.
outside looking.
All right, so the hip hop scene in St. Louis, I think it's really cool. It's okay. We have something called SlumFest, where a lot of the hip hop
We
artists
have something.
we have something called SlumFest.
Shout out to Rabu and all them.
And a lot of the hip hop artists are a part of SlumFest. I know the iLLPHONiCS you all are a part of.
We did the first
the
one.
very first
The OGs of
SlumFest. Yes, the OGs of SlumFest. And so I would say that, to piggyback off of what we just said about trying not to sound like what's in the mainstream right now, is maybe something a lot of the hip hop artists, they have some individuality, but they're mainly trying to sound like what's in the mainstream right now on the radio as far as what's in hip hop. And you know, that's okay to a certain extent, but when do you stay true to yourself as an artist? You know, and when do you stay true to yourself, besides trying to put out what's hot for now, like Larry said, and then 10 years down the road, you know, you're listening to it and it's like, okay, that was hot then, but what about now?
Right.
You know, you want timeless music where it doesn't matter what year it is or how many years down the road it is. You always want to hear it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kevin, because you know me. I'll
I'll
go
save
in.
Larry for last. I mean, so I'm not as in tune with the rap scene as I have been or whatever, but I think that's because at a certain point I got disappointed with it.
Really?
I don't know. You have us on one end who we're not truly just hip hop or whatever, so we're not fully there. And then on the other side of the spectrum, you have just copy of a copy of a copy of a rapper who brings music on his phone to plug into the soundboard.
Right.
It's just, I don't see enough in between those two extremes. I'd love to see some people doing some different kind of collaborations. And even, there used to be a cool, trio called Earthworms. Like, just that idea of having more than one rapper in a crew is cool.
Yeah.
I don't see that. Like, Family Affair is the only one. They're great. Family Affair,
Yeah, they are.
they are some real true.
I'm gonna go through a list in a
Yeah.
minute. So Family Affair, they're good. Matthias and the Pirates, they're doing their
Oh
thing.
yeah, I like
They're
that.
great.
Yeah,
I
they're
like
great.
that.
That's Far-Fetched. Shout out to Damon and all them. Mastermind. I think he's the most hot guy on the young scene. Like he
Siege,
Yes.
though. Siege.
Siege is he's affiliated with MME. Yeah, Mastermind. I mean, like I told him, I'm like, I watch you, like, boy, we got to stay on our game when it comes to just the work ethic and whatnot. He's really, really good. Tef Poe has been doing good things.
Yes.
Tef Poe has been doing good
Right.
things. They've been doing great. Rockwell Knuckles has always been a personal favorite.
Yes.
He's doing some really good stuff. My homie Damon, they were with Scripts and Screws. They're not really together right now, but there's talks of some stuff coming out. They were great. Thelonious
they're
Kryptonite, he's in New Orleans right now. He's doing some really good things. Bates, I've liked the stuff I've heard from her. Bodine has been doing really good. Shout out to him. I've just started to build a rapport with him. And I mean, Scrub, that's a lot of other people. And it's hard for me to name everybody.
Right,
you know
right.
who you are. But these individuals, I think, stand out. You know, I think they're doing things that is really groundbreaking and really taking St. Louis hip hop to the next level. I think the issue with St. Louis hip hop is you have to have a work ethic, a strong one, because I feel like this about rap music, and I mean this to the bottom of my heart. Everybody now feels like they can rap. Everybody thinks
Copy of a copy
they
of
can.
a copy.
Yes.
Everybody thinks they can flow.
We need more lyricists.
And that's the thing. And lyricism is a science. It's not always about the most complex bars. It's not always about the most unique metaphors. These are things that these are technical things within hip hop that help you sharpen your sword. And it's good to hear a MC who has that, you know.
It's like spices on top.
Yeah, spices on
Yeah.
top, for real. But at the end of the day, I can hit you with the dopest 16s ever. And you just like, man, he's lyrically tight. But if I don't move you, it means nothing. And I think the science of songwriting is something that a lot of MCs today don't get. They get a catchy hook, And they like, yeah, I'm killing it, but like, will it resonate? You know what I mean? And so in St. Louis right now, I feel like there's potential for the hip hop scene to really expand, grow, and do big things. But it's one of those things where we have to stop stepping on each other's toes, you know, like be able to play your lane. As an MC, you know, Kevin and them have heard me in other environments. When he heard me, he'll tell you the way I used to rap then compared to now, it's developed.
Very different.
Very different. But I understand what I'm doing now. I'm in a different, not saying I didn't understand it then, I understand the field that I'm playing right now. And I just think a lot of artists, you have to go through that development. You have to go through that growth. We've put out, you know, 3 full-length albums, a few EPs. We've played on the road. So these things make a difference. And I think a lot of folks want it overnight. They want to be hot right now. And I've been doing this since I was a little kid. And I'm still learning. I'm always learning something new. So I think St. Louis scene it'll work. I think it'll happen. I just think that these things play a part. And we have to figure out ways to get together and make stuff work. And I think people mix collaboration with, I have to be on all your songs. That's not necessary collaboration. Like today, for people that are listening to us, every artist I name, go look them up. It's that simple. Finding ways to share the gifts of St. Louis hip hop makes a difference. Everybody's trying to do their own thing. And I think that creates its own sets of problems. You know,
Right.
Who's going to be first? Who's going to be that one out of St. Louis, you know? And it doesn't matter. I got a chance to be around in Atlanta over the years as it blew up because of family down there. And just going down there, they got it. In Texas, I see how they do it down there. They got it. Even in California, LA on the West Coast, they figured it out. You know, it's just mutual respect and love and understanding that maybe Kevin don't rap like I do, but what he does makes our scene better.
Right.
So we'll get there, but it's taking some time.
Starts right now. Tired of not believing me, tired of them deceiving me. Decided to plant the seed in me, breathing me. Tired of my shack, so I came ready to rap. Stacking ain't the main objective, but a collecting my soul. I'm confessing, and bold and never resting. This is my succession, so no stress from the past. As I blast forward fast, never reversed, never slacking back. Coming the first, I'm gifted, not cursed. Even though I came from the worst, put myself first, till the hearse. I've got self-worth, should've since birth, but the skill wasn't rehearsed. I felt burnt and lurched, so I put in work and let my soul disperse. It always comes back, even through the murk. Sometimes it hurts and spurts in my eyes, and I realize the lies, the way I cried and died, and why my pleasure denied. I was down but not hiding, that was my den, but now it's coming to an end. My soul isn't spent, it just went in a different direction. Now I'm denting it to attention, never benching, just reverse the ascension. Moments of depression bring us our lessons, the blessings in disguise, irreveling the rise. I'm going so high, so high, so high. I don't need a map, I'm my own tour guide. Never coming down from my sand, now I'm banned and crowned. Farewell to my shack, this is my future now. Going so high, so high, so high, so high. Write my lyrics in calligraphy, so they're beautifully weaving. I'm leaving my current condition, living my mission. Giving nothing but skills and wit, that's right, JusWit. Kicked it so sick, never fictitious. Take a sip and swish it, and you wish my words were on the daily dish you served. You heard the bird, the morning lark, heard the melody and knew right where to start. My heart, my art, and me never depart. Packed full of rhymes, that's my shopping cart. Rolling through the grocery store, picking up more. I'm filling up with energy, I'm so and going caloric energy whore and never born the one to be adorned. All cause I fell to the bottom and pushed the door to an opposite altitude of where I've been. Like I had a sail and was pushed by the wind. Going through the sky, I make these gems. Moments of depression bring us our lessons, the blessings in disguise, irreveling the rise. I'm going so high, so high, so high, so high. I don't need a map, I'm my own tour guide. Never coming down from my sand, now I'm banned and crowned. Farewell to my shack, this is my future now. Going so high, so high, so high, so high. I remember the days of getting hit in the face, getting told to get back in my place. Rapid decline was my emotional state. I played it, my feelings and ate them. Never relate them, always delayed them until I instigated the explosion. After the erosion, no self-loathing within. Never passed my life down on my kin. That's my old space. Now I celebrate and celebrate the fate I made. No destiny, I made my own way. Pull the pin, this is my grenade crusade. Still blowing up, never ready to fade. Moments of depression bring us our lessons. They're blessings in disguise, and we revel in the rise. That's where I was, now I'm getting buzzed. Never wearing a muzzle ever again. Never pretend, just let my pen and mind bend. Through the struggle I survive and always defend.
All right, that was JusWit with his track Farewell My Shack, Welcome My Future, produced by Redhooknoodles. That was a single released a couple of years back. You can get that on his Bandcamp, justwit.bandcamp.com. You spell his name JUSWIT. If you dug that, go support him. You can find him on Facebook at facebook.com/JustWit and then the number 7, JUSWIT and then the number 7. Are you guys seeing more synergy between like the indie rock scene and the hip hop scene in St. Louis? Because here in Kansas City, that's what we're trying to do, is kind of merge those two together, because you have very passionate people in the hip hop scene, you have very passionate people in the indie rock pop scene. And so why would you not want to put those two musical forms together? Because the crowds are going to appreciate it, right? We're so exposed now, freely exposed to just different types of music that, you know, that's why we're trying to build that here in Kansas City. Are you guys seeing that happen in St. Louis?
To a degree.
To a degree.
Slightly.
It's gotten better in the last couple of years. Before, I don't know, when you go back to like 2012, it almost wasn't happening at all.
Yeah.
But now it is a little bit.
Yeah. I think groups like the Midwest Avengers and ourselves have helped that. And I don't think we get recognition. And I know we're not supposed to toot our horn, but I'm going to in this. I think we've made it, us, Midwest Avengers and other groups like that, we've helped to create that bridge, because people hear us and they're like, wow, maybe hip hop isn't that bad in St. Louis, and it exposes them to new people and new artists and whatnot. And to be honest with you, I'm going to always have a love for our rock scene in St. Louis, because they were kind of the first to really embrace us and let us get on showcases. It was times, and I know, Kevin, you'll remember this, we were playing on sets and we were like the only thing near hip hop music. Like everything else was completely different. So I think in St. Louis it's starting to happen, but as Kevin said, it still has a ways to go.
I have hope for it. I mean, it seems like more like of the people I really respect in like the indie. I hate that word, by the way, but they're not signed to a major label, so they're indie. Some of those people are starting to be more outspoken about, their love of hip hop, and they're starting to come out to some shows now. So, yeah, it's starting to happen.
I think it's cool too, because you guys have the legacy in the scene, and all the young artists need something to look up to. And them seeing, oh, it's not just me with my iPod plugging into the board, or just me with a DJ playing, a track. It's like they can see what you guys are doing and what other legacy artists are doing. Like, oh, there is musicality to this. Mm-hmm. There is the showmanship. And so I think that's real cool.
Yeah, I mean, if you got some partners that play an instrument, go get them and do some stuff. Like, all of this started from Kevin wanting to experiment and Keith working on something with me. And it morphed into something that 10 years later, I'm like, wow, I would have never thought when I was going out to Kevin's house in the basement recording songs that I'd be sitting in Kansas City doing a podcast for a label that we signed to. You know what I mean? Like, who would have thought? But it morphed, and it's a beauty in music. I don't care which type of music you do. When you have that connectivity, magical things can happen. Right. Like, seriously.
Yeah, and you guys just put out a documentary, 10 Years of Sound. And so talk to me a little bit about the documentary, because you guys go through and you talk about some pretty big moments in your career. What are some of the most memorable ones to you guys?
The pageant shows are some of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because the pageant sounds amazing. The pageant's a venue in St. Louis in the Del Mar Loop. It's been I think it's even been listed as like one of the top 3 venues in the country for a while in that size. But yeah, it sounds amazing in that venue, and plus we captured the, what would you say?
We showed that we were here to stay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great show. That was one of the greatest shows that I can ever remember. The energy was so high at that show.
Yeah. Like we captured the imagination of the audience, and they just kind of went on a journey with us. It was cool.
It's like rookie of the year shit. Like we came out and balled that night. You know what I'm saying? Like we came out the ball, and I think it showed people what we were capable of with the right tools and setting. You know, we have a lot of memorable moments. There's a lot of small moments we didn't talk about in the documentary, but I mean, California was great because like. I feel like members of the band hadn't been places like that before, and to see those things, like driving up Highway 1, like we were sitting in the car all just like on some starry-eyed shit. Like we were just like, wow, like look at the oceans to the left and this beautiful misty forest is to the right. You know?
Oh my God.
So I mean that's definitely one of the better memories. But like I said, it's been so many little funny stories that if we shared it, it probably would be like a Netflix hit. Like you don't even have to know the group, you just think the shit was funny. Like
Yeah, one of my most memorable times was this year I got to go to South by Southwest. And that experience was really amazing to see so many different artists to perform at different venues and for the people there to actually gravitate to the music and love it. So that was like one of the most memorable times for me as well.
Yeah, South by is an experience, man.
Yes.
It's like, how can you cram more people into this street? Oh, they'll find a way.
Yeah, she definitely got her introduction because I think it was cool to see the way she looked at it because I know how I felt when we first got down there. It's like I stuck my head out the window and I'm like, wow, this is what everybody in the music industry was talking about. Now, don't get me wrong, it still was fun, but you know, we've been on that 4 or 5 times. And so bringing Lena down there and giving her that opportunity, it's kind of like, you know, hey, looking at it
made it more exciting for us again.
Isn't this exciting?
Yeah, because by the end, I was moving to Austin. I was moving.
Oh, yeah. So, it was, that's definitely good. I think it's the small moments, though, too.
Right.
You know, the moments when we're at practice and we're making fun of each other or the arguments we have over things that people would not. Like me and Spanky get into it all the time about small stuff.
Yeah, like cereal milk.
Cereal milk. Yeah, I gotta. No, you heard it here first. Cereal milk is my idea. If you take it, I will take you to court and I will rip your head off. I really will.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, because Spank doesn't believe in my concept of cereal milk. Listen, podcast.
That is one of the best parts of the cereal.
This is my point. Okay, podcasters, listen to this. Wouldn't you spend $4 to go to the store, like you like Cocoa Puff milk, and you pour it on top of the Cocoa Puff, so you not only have a chocolatey experience with the box of cereal, you have it with the milk. I'm telling you, General Mills, all of you steal my idea, I will take you to court. I may not win, but this is proof. What's today's date?
First.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. Trademark.
I brought it up first. This is documented.
My syndicates, plots intricate. Stop trying to act hard, you're impudent. You're lacking skills and uninterested. Acting menacing, but just fantasizing. The flow synthesis and sight incidents. Mortal Kombat style, I finish them. Dissemble them as symbols when I disfigure, then dismember them. My venomous glance type lyric spit. On point like the end of a needle tip. The line myriad becomes furious. Penetrating the hearts of those spurious. Them weak songs, we ain't hearing them. Point blank, flat out, never period. So cease and desist the immediate. Straight game, take notes in immediates. The drop tops, they ride low. The bass heavy, creep slow. We'll ride to the side, watch me roll. Cause that's the type of shit we own. Nobody tryna hear your weak songs. Hey, nobody tryna hear them weak songs. Ride to the side, watch me roll. Cause that's the type of shit we own. Poof, little mouth when the beat gone. Nobody tryna hear your weak songs. Your boring album that's weeks long. And if I transform this into beast mode, a tiger prowling on beef's lawn. It's doggy dog, you a beast, Sean. Filet meat, y'all, you get seasoned. The main course for the flow, heathen. Excited, I'm glowing like neon. In the cold with my blood punk free, yeah. But your girl keeps coming by to keep warm. Another lonely night, there'll be more. Hey, we ready. Troy, no shortcuts and no cheat codes. Take overflow like we hove. We keep it 100 like C-notes. The drop tops, they ride low. The bass heavy, creep slow. We'll ride to the side, watch me roll. Hey, cause that's the type of shit we own. Nobody riding to your weak songs. Hey, nobody trying to hear them weak songs. Ride to the side, watch me roll. But that's the type of shit we own. Ride, roll, ride, roll, ride, roll. the beat stump much louder than rivals. Proof young, kinda wine beat gone. It's a whole nother level that we own. Let weak people ride, no we don't. Liquid spaceship, watch me flow. The drop tops, they ride low. The bass heavy, creep slow. But ride to the side, watch me roll. Hey, cause that's the type of shit we own. Nobody ride into your weak songs. Hey, nobody try to hear them weak songs. But ride to the side, watch me roll. But that's the type of shit we own.
That was Liquid Spaceships by the iLLPHONiCS, another song taken off their brand new album out now called Gone with the Trends. So being together for 10 years, you know, what was some of the hardest things that you guys had to work through as a band? Because, you know, the funny thing that I see is that when people start really gravitating towards a band, because it does, it takes years, unless you're kind of a super group, you know, and you've kind of built your following, built your comfort as a musician, and you come together. It takes like that 5-6 years to be like, okay, now we're really hitting our stride, now we're real comfortable, and now we're all together songwriting. What were some of the biggest things that you found when you were coming up that were just struggles?
Oh man.
The stories we have. Kevin,
I would say initially I'm thinking two categories. One is personal valleys in lives, like when stuff's not going right for an individual, and that of course affects their overall outlook, and then may not have the best energy at practice. Right. Just be, you know, and then if one of us, and I'm, you know, guilty of this, we all are, just like you know, has had a bad day, and you're coming to practice, and you just have like a frown on, and of course that's going to get to everybody else, you know. Right. So that's one category. The other category, I don't know, is just like, especially, this hasn't happened as much recently, but like in the early years, just like not fully understanding each other, and then like connected to that is ego, and then of course you have to learn how to disintegrate your ego a little bit in this kind of a band.
Yeah,
you know?
You definitely do. Yeah. It's one of those things where you have to accept no sometimes and just know it's nothing personal. It sucks. Yeah. Because everybody in this group, and I say this, I feel like everybody in this group is really good at what they do. Nobody wants to be told, no, we're not going to go with your idea. Not today. So it sucks. And I think with us, we're such dynamic individuals, you know what I mean? Like, every character is different. Like, you know, I feel like Kevin is more in tune with the world around him, so things that happen in the world, it affects him. You know, I think Chaz is more of an introvert. He's, you know, he only speaks when he really has something to say, and he's very much Chaz, you know. Spanky, I'm still trying to figure him out, but like
he says the funniest one-liners, man.
Because the thing is, Spanky, I've realized something driving with him. So he's brilliant. Yeah. He's low key. He's low key brilliant. Yes. But with that brilliance, I'm like, Spank, like stop for a minute. You know what I mean? I'm very dynamic, as you know. You know, I'm very, you know. And Keith is like, it's hard to explain Keith because he's been a friend of mine all my life. But Keith, like, he can be really cool. I think he's a good middle guy in the group. He kind of understands everybody's perspective. But when he, like, has something on his mind, it'll sit there. And when he comes out strong. Like, you know, you can't, you know. And so it's like a relationship. How do you balance that all out? And one thing you see with us now is we preface stuff like, hey, no offense, this is what I feel. Right. You know, you
guys are all family at this point.
Yeah, you get to that point, you know. And I think we function because we know how to do things. Like, you know, Kevin might hit everybody up and say, you know, I'm not feeling good. I just don't think I want to practice. It's okay to miss that Sunday, right. You know, as opposed to maybe, unless, you know, we have big shows coming up. We're ready for all of them. But as opposed to 6 years ago, it would turn into something else. I also think we've weeded out people around us that brought negative energy. Mm-hmm. They're gone, you know. So if you're not going to bring positive energy to our situation, fuck you. We'll keep on going the way we go, you know.
Yeah, man. I think, Spank, in your documentary, there's where you guys talk about just like driving outside of that Joplin tornado. Mm-hmm. Spank goes, yeah, and then we just kind of took off and didn't look back. but I look back because I want to see what it looked like.
Yeah,
It's just
that's
kind of
the
shit like that. Yeah.
But that's
It's like,
that-
oh, wow.
but that's what makes Spank great, because like that's how he is. You know what I mean? You know?
Yeah.
And everybody has their funny moments. Like we make fun of Kevin because Kevin always has talked a particular way. He's never been a loud guy. So it's like, no, man. Like I'm not gonna do that. Like we know his cues. Like I'll say something to Kevin, like, "Hey, Kevin, we should try this," and he'll rub his beard, and I know it's
Yes.
automatically a no. It's not going good. You know. So
Yeah, I might be more angry than I let on by the tone of my voice.
He said, "No, guys, we're not gonna do that." You have to have fun with it too.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You got to be able to make fun of each other, enjoy each other's presence. You know, because Spank in the documentary, he's making fun of me hitting the car.
Yeah, you did. That was a good one.
So he was pretty good. So.
What's the deal out here? I'm too ill out here. All these other niggas rapping on fill out here. I cook a nigga bar like a grill out here. Make stacks off raps on freestyle player. Marty knows gon' get it. Flow so descriptive, I'm also terrific. Embark on the mission, I'm nauseous, so caution. I'm in it to win it. And bosses take losses. Division, addition, decisions. I'm picking and business concealing. Cutting it up, that's intensive incisions. The realest and did it, I said it, I meant it. Still got a vision and hustle relentless. Hold on, I break bread, no ozone. And get domed like a snow cone. Boy, I'm so cold when I go on anything I go on. And y'all niggas got no flow. Probably fucking with the popo. Wearing blue and white like Romo. I'm in the car smoking weed with the dope clothes. I'm at the bar at the shows, y'all postpone. You a no show, and I'm still out here, still out here. Any nigga rapping, I kill out here. Yeah, I will out here. Y'all ain't nowhere near. I'm so nice with the flow, and I'm so sincere. Hope hard work pays, so I'm still out here. Niggas gon' hate, but I'm still out here. I got more bread to make, so I'm still out here. I'm everything that you ain't, cause I'm still out here. Hard work pays, so I'm still out here. Niggas gon' hate, but I'm still out here. I got more bread to make, so I'm still out here. I'm everything that you ain't, cause I'm still out here. Still out here, still out here. Hard work pays, so I'm still out here. Still out here, still out here. Hard work pays, so I'm still out here. Still out here, still out here. Hard work pays, so I'm still out here. Still out here, still out here. Hard work pays, so I'm still out here. I'm for real out here. I need a mill out here. And it ain't a motherfucker that I fear out here. Know a lot of niggas rapping on here out here. Every 365 is a year out here. No business moves, y'all misconstrue. Ain't got a thing to lose. I got things to prove. I got things to do. Ain't got brain to use. And I'm still out here. Y'all should stay in school. And I'm still out here. Still out here. I'm a king, little nigga. What's the deal out here? Some talk good game, but be feel out here. I murder everything moving. Y'all ain't still out here. I be rapping, producing, and engineer out here. I be killing these other niggas I hear out here. I be spitting the shit that niggas don't hear out here. Stay trill out here, and I'm still out here. Ho.
All right, that was Still Out Here by Marty Notes, produced by Scotty Woo. That's taken off the album Still Out Here. You can check out Marty Notes on SoundCloud.com/Marty Notes, MartyNotes. You can also check him out on Facebook at Facebook.com/Marty.Notes. It's a super dope track. If you love that track, I guarantee you're going to dig that entire album. So go and check that out when you get a chance. So what is next for the iLLPHONiCS? You guys dropped Gone with the Trends on April 1st. I believe you guys are working on a new music video right now.
Yeah.
You got LouFest coming up. Congratulations
Oh, yeah.
on that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We got to give a shout out to Gabby, Kai, and Aaron.
Okay.
They are Lena's children, and I was like, let's have them in a music video. And so they stayed out there a whole day. They endured falling off of little ledges.
They did.
Eating sandwiches. Brock actually had them out last week. He brought them out again to shoot. Well, we really pushed them. But when you all see the video, you're gonna be like, it's dope. So
Yeah, they did a great job. I'm really proud of them.
Yeah.
They've been asking, well, can we be on Disney Channel?
We're not to
first
that
we'll
level yet.
begin
A little
with
bit
the
of time.
iLLPHONiCS video.
let's one step at a time.
Very cool. So
Yeah.
you guys are just planning on I'm assuming just touring and just getting out
Yeah,
there more?
playing as much as we can. We have of course, LouFest on September 10th. That's going to be awesome.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big.
We're ready.
And then we're actually doing a benefit show. It's a 10-year anniversary show at the Sheldon Concert Hall, which, if you're not familiar with that, it's a very, very renowned venue. Some amazing artists have performed there, and it's a listener's room. People go to listen to the music, and but yeah, it's a benefit. So we are raising money for Music for Lifelong Achievement.
Yep.
And what they do is they help get instruments into the hands of children who are not usually able to afford such things.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're big on that.
That's important. Music
Yeah.
is important to have, especially when you're in developing years.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the only way that we're going to have great musicians in the future is if they can express themselves at any given time. You know,
We went to the Jazz Museum yesterday, and one thing you saw in common with all of these artists is that they had an instrument young and had a mentor.
Right.
Yes.
And I think that's important. You know, I didn't play an instrument per se because we couldn't afford it. You know, I wanted to play saxophone. Mother couldn't really pay for it, you know. And I've always had that love of music because I couldn't do it the way that I wanted. So if any way we can help give that kid an opportunity who's looking at that tuba, who's looking at that drum kit, to have an opportunity to play it, I guess, you know, it's not even a guess. I know it's worth it, you know.
Right.
Yeah, I agree too. I agree with what Kevin said. Is the only way we'll have great future musicians is to begin now. And so my two boys, they play the violin, and then my oldest plays the trumpet, which is, I think, really important even on days when he's like, I don't want to go to band. And I'm like, you're going.
Right.
Because you never know what this may develop into on one of your bad days, and you just begin playing and you just instantly fall in love.
Right. That's very cool. That's what I really respect about you guys. Because when you guys released the Brown Frequency, all those proceeds went to
Operation for Black Struggle. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things we try to do benefit shows. I think we've had a big philosophy over the years that we're going to always do a couple of shows for nothing.
to give back to the community.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are big on that.
Kevin now has started EMAP.
Yep.
Environmental Music and Arts Project.
There you go. And I mean, that's something that he's really, really passionate about, and we did a show for him recently. You know, I think we all are moving into realms of that. You know, it's funny because Kevin said starting off as booking for the group. I do a lot of booking now. I try to make sure we tie into things that have a message when we can, you know, because it's one of them things you want to balance it. Yes, we do want to get paid, and we want to make sure that we can take care of our debts, but we're still citizens of the world.
Right.
And we have an obligation as artists to do what's right by people in our community before anything else. So it's something that we definitely will always do. So
That's very cool, man. I respect you guys a lot for using that platform for good. That's very commendable. So where can people find you online? I know your website, iLLPHONiCS.net. You guys are on Facebook too?
Yeah.
iLLPHONiCS Sound, is that right?
yeah, but if you type in iLLPHONiCS, we're not to a point you'll find it.
That's true. You guys are smart with that name up front. It comes up in that Google search.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are Twitter, Instagram.
One word. iLLPHONiCS.
iLLPHONiCS
With a PH.
With the PH, and you will find us.
Days just silent. Just kidding.
We've been getting on our Instagram a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think.
Trying to do that. We have we have a Snapchat. So I'm gonna put this out there to anybody that's listening. If you like social media and taking pictures and want to hang out with a group, let us know. Because we need that, you know. We definitely do. And we're fun people to hang around. We think we're fun people to hang around. You have us in your basement. Do you think we're fun people?
I think so. I think, you know, you're kind of hit or miss, but I definitely like hanging out with, you know, Kevin and Lena.
It's fine.
The hits make up for the misses.
Yeah. I'll roll with that.
Cool. I really appreciate you guys coming on and hanging out.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Tacos.
I like to think I'm wrong. I feel it so strong. I sit here all alone, staring at my phone. I really think you know my love for you remains. The more things seem to change, the more they stay the same. So I don't try to hide it. I just write it down in the song. The tears is what I'm fighting, and I can't hold it back for long. Love's not far away from me. I truly do believe it's mine. Girl, I'm telling you the truth. I wanna be with you. You're mine. I think I've come to see you really don't believe what we could really be. I sit here patiently waiting for a call, but I don't get none at all. I can feel the tears fall, and it's tearing me apart. So I don't try to hide it. I just write it down in the song. The tears is what I'm fighting, and I can't hold it back for long. ain't like you. But with age, you develop foresight too. To separate what's good for now from what might be detrimental will after a while. Sometimes I might write you, and we can hang, not forcing what's not true. If you feel that you have to decide between me and the other guys, I just rather say bye. My heart you will not use. How many things, and baby, I'm not fooled by the games that you play with some. Cause I'd rather be all alone than in love and dumb. It's like that. And be cordial, I like to. If not able, we can go our own ways too. And I'm not forcing, we just does it decide inside your heart and mind. It just wasn't a time.
So I don't try to hide it, I just write it down in the song. The tears is what I'm fighting, and I can't hold them back for long.